So what brings you two together? I know you've done things together before, but why now? Why here?
Well, it started when I was doing a residency at Radio City. And part of the residency, I would have, different comedians and musicians would all come. It was kind of like a great collective or curation of talent. And this particular night, it was the day that riot happened in Charlottesville.
Oh, yeah.
And, I mean, you could feel it in the room. There were palpable feelings around it. And Jon Stewart showed up that night. And when he went on, really, like, either John or Obama are the only people that would have got. Literally, you're the only ones that would have got that
Obama's got a
reception.
tight 5 on Charlottesville that would have crushed.
No, you could feel the crowd like it was a sigh of relief. You were like a visual cue to be rational, and the set you did that day was so powerful.
Well, that opens up a lot of questions. First and foremost, I was just reading about Lenny Bruce, the great comedian. Right. I think it's 50 years since he died, but all of a sudden having a resurgence. Off-Broadway play about to happen. He features in an Amazon Prime series, but...
Lenny Bruce?
Lenny Bruce.
His career's going better now?
Yeah, his career's going better now. He's having a revival.
He changed agents.
Yeah. But people are saying that, the same things that he was satirizing and making, part of his comedy back then exist right now. The assault on free speech, the, partitioning of the country along race and religious lines, right. The protest on the streets and in Congress. And I wonder whether that affects you. I mean, whether you internalize that, given what you just said about a rational voice.
Well, I don't know about a rational voice, but I think we always internalize what's around us. We're comedians, and I think we feed off of whatever the food is of the day that's coming around. I don't know that, in terms of a resurgence of the country being divided along racial and class lines and gender lines and all that, I feel like that's always with us. It's just at times it's maybe bubbles up more explicitly, but even when you don't say it out loud, it still exists. And it's always, foundational. And so I don't know that it ever goes away.
Do you think it is more acute right now?
The division?
Yeah.
No, man, no. In fact, some of the things they say, even when they say that Russia influenced the election, it's kind of like, is Russia making us racist? is that who's doing it? Oh, okay, I thought it was. Oh, my God, thank goodness I thought it was us.
Putin was like, you should be racist.
Huh? I hadn't thought of it that way.
Yeah, if they kill the country that way, then we're the murder weapon.
Yeah.
So
we've always been.
Is the Trump era a good era for comedians? Is it just unbelievable fodder or not?
I would not even name the era after him.
Yeah.
He's getting too much credit.
Well, he's the president?
He's not making the wave, he's surfing it.
Yeah.
They were
the energy's always been there.
All he does is sing those people's greatest hits. Build a Wall, all these things we've heard before. He just sings all the songs. He's the only one that has been brash enough to do it.
He's been a lot more aggressive towards journalists and reporters. I wonder what you think. I mean, obviously, we're speaking in a moment when, one of our colleagues has been butchered in cold blood.
Right.
In a consulate.
Saudi. Sure.
In Turkey.
That's terrifying.
And in that environment, President Trump talks about a candidate running for office who has body slammed a reporter. And I'm going to play a little bit of what he said.
Any guy that can do a body slam, he's my kind. He's my guy.
What do you make of that? Because I asked you, because you were sort of the graybeard of journalism almost. I know you hate that, but when anchors started to be less authoritative than they used to be maybe, 20 years ago, well, you were, for better or for worse, considered somebody with authority every night.
I think we were the protest vote, to a large extent. We were none of the above. So people would say, who's the most trusted news anchor? And they would list the 4 network anchors, and then they would throw in, my name, none of the above, and everybody's like, none of the above. And they would circle it, and that would go there. I think that he is a performer. When we do our shows, we do our shows. And no matter if we're sitting in Royal Albert Hall or like when we were in Copenhagen, we went to this little room called the Zoo. There was, 100 Danish-speaking, somewhat surprised people to see us. And we sat there and we did our show, and we did it for 20. Donald Trump is a salesman who changes his pitch depending on who he's in front of. What he doesn't realize is it's all being recorded. And so his pitch to that audience is the us versus them. We're all the victims of this liberal media, of these soft journalists who come out here and lie about us. We're really great people. And that's what he pitches to them. And if you ask him about it and you say, do you think that's okay to body slam a reporter? No, of course not. That's, not do that. But I was joking. It was a little joke I was making in front of friends.
Before we go forward, let's go back to the day after the election. You were hosting Saturday Night Live right after the election.
I'm wishing Donald Trump luck, and I'm going to give him a chance. And we, the historically disenfranchised, demand that he give us one too. Thank you very much.
Did that dream, desire come true? Has he given you a chance? Or you still want to give him a chance?
I think I said the right thing at the right time. You know what I mean? I think that we had to recalibrate and kind of put things in perspective. I'm a black American, so these feelings that people felt right after the election, we felt that many elections consecutively, and I think that to some degree people overreacted. Like, the alternative to giving him a chance was storming the streets, and if something good's on television, I'm not doing that.
For me, I think Trump era and Trump presidency in the 2016-2017 elections was really good for comedians because he gave comedians a lot of content, especially content to talk about. It made comedy very, very easy, and it made a lot of comedians outshine. And I believe a lot of comedians nowadays are praying and hoping for Donald Trump to come back so that the comedy business and comedy shows can blossom for the next 4 years. Going to the part of Russia, Dave Chappelle said something very well. If we are putting a lot of blame on Russia, does it mean Russia made us racist? No. For me, I don't think. Russia may have tried, same as other countries try to interfere with other countries' elections, trying to see if their own preferred candidates will win. But at the end of the day, it doesn't mean that Russia had that much influence. Take, for example, in these 2024 elections. If Donald Trump wins as president, will you say Russia colluded? Or Russia colluded with Donald Trump colluded with Russia in making him win? No. So I think they may have tried, but it doesn't mean they fully succeeded. They fully succeeded. It's just luck at the end of the day, and racism has been something that is pretty big in America as compared to South Africa, where they have grown past racism, they have grown past inequality, they have grown past Jim Crow laws, they have grown past racial stigmatization and racial prejudice. It is one thing that is pretty interesting with South Africa is they have grown past those things, but you still find people living in the shacks, but they still don't have that lot of hurt in them. That hurt in them must slowly dissociate or that slowly be wiped off. Even though you find a lot of people still living in shacks, still living in areas that it's unbearable for humans to live. Like if you go to Johannesburg and also Cape Town too, you go to those two cities, you will notice that there are a lot of areas that are super beautiful, which is uninhabited by the rich blacks and the rich whites and the rich whites. Then outside of that area, we have what we call the shacks, where the poor blacks are living. And you find people barely have electricity, communities that need to share toilets together, and sanitary hygiene is not that good. It's very easy to catch cholera. It's very easy to catch diseases over there. So you find people living in conditions like that, in places like that. But one thing that is very, very interesting with them is they living in such area, they don't have that so much hatred and so much hurt against white people, though, as we have against one another and as we have against racism. If you compare America and South Africa when it comes to resolving racial issues, America is far above South Africa because they have made it much easier for a lot of people, even though it's still difficult, but they have made it much, much easier for a lot of people to afford things. You know, as a black person in America, you don't have to live in shacks, and you don't have to live in shacks. You can get healthcare. You can get a job if you work hard. You can. I know getting a loan is difficult, but there are a lot of banks that are very, very open to people of color. And also, it is a crime too if you apply for loans and they don't give it to you. You can report the bank to the attorney general of your state, and they will investigate the bank. So a lot of things have been going on. And also too, if you're living in communities which is really richly populated by black people, like let's say you live in Atlanta, it's very easy for a black person to get loans in Atlanta than for a black person to get loan in Wisconsin, than for a black person to get loan in Wyoming. If you want to really get loans at banks in different cities, try to move to a city which is inhabited by more your people. Because being inhabited by more people, you get to find a lot of bankers being of your own kind. You know, if they know that you have the collateral security for it, trust me, they're gonna give you the loan. And it shows how America has gone far beyond, and that's really improved. No country is perfect, but it's drastically improving way more than South Africa, you know. And the people of South Africa, they really don't have that much hatred and hate when it comes to racism. People are really, really scared to be called racist, but people don't mind doing racist things.
I just feel like
HBO has a lot of
But let's
offerings
continue
right now.
yeah, Game of Thrones is on.
That's what I'm
I
saying.
can't make the ride tonight. But I don't know. Is he doing a good job? Am I happy with what he's doing? No, it's been very difficult to watch the last couple of years.
Harder than I think I thought it would be, in that there was a part of me that thought when you get in that room and it's nighttime and there's no one around and Teddy Roosevelt and Abe Lincoln and everybody's up on the walls and they're staring at you, that brings a certain cognitive weight to what you're feeling. And I imagine he walked in that room, he's like, take that down, put up dogs playing poker. Can a fella get some French fries around here? You know, I think that oddly enough, he transformed the White House, and the White House wasn't able to transform him.
Back in 2015, when he announced for president, you didn't take it entirely seriously.
The man came down an escalator.
Can I just play what you said?
Oh, sure.
Like many of you, I heard some interesting, let's call it news today about a certain, let's say, gift from heaven, entering the presidential race, because apparently Huckabee Santorum wasn't far-fetched enough. I gotta tell you, the world right now is like, whites are black, Trump's running for president, like...
Should you have taken it more seriously? I mean, you were the oracle, John.
Yeah, now. I didn't think, I thought America was gonna go, is that an escalator in a mall? I'm not gonna vote for that, dude. Like, I didn't think he meant it. And when he gave that speech, quite frankly, I really thought when he said, you know, Mexico sends us the worst, the rapists and murder, I really thought he had disqualified himself.
Not to mention what he said about women.
About women, about everything that he said there. And I thought, this is disqualifying. For me, though, and clearly I don't speak for, you know, he's been very effective at, like what Dave said, surfing the waves that have been there. I'm watching the midterms. Man, you would think our country is Mad Max Thunderdome. This guy is like, they're coming from Guatemala, they're coming from Mexico, there's a liberal mob that's coming, Muslims. And you would think everybody in the country is just like, to the bunker, to the ramparts.
To that point, it's been written about you, Dave, that...
It has been written.
It has been said that you have a singular gift for blurring left and right, red and blue states. What do you think that means? That somehow you're able to sort of surf, bring them together, not necessarily get stuck in the political divide?
Because most of the political discussion is so binary, and I'm way more interesting than that. It's just a dude.
So you're way more interesting than that.
Yeah, most people are. If you talk to them, you know, I hear people say, you know, families are not speaking to one another because of politics. That sounds insane to me. Like, there's a ton of people that I love and respect that I completely disagree with.
Even if Donald Trump is guilty of the 34 counts that has been raised against him, it doesn't stop him from still running for president the second time. And it doesn't even stop him from winning. And if he wins, he can pardon himself of all of the crimes. So maybe at the end of the day, it might turn for his advantage. But one of the most important things, irrespective of Joe Biden, even irrespective of Donald Trump or Joe Biden being the president, we need a president that has the country in heart. You know, a president that is looking forward to the goodness of the country, not a president that is out to enrich themselves, out to promote racism, out to divide the country together. America needs to be united. We have a common enemy. And that common enemy is any nation that is fighting against the sovereignty, the security, and the peace of the nation. So we really need to come together and work in one accord in fighting against such enemies and also focus on the innovation, because innovation is what will take the country forward. Innovation is what will really take the country forward. If we are not innovative, how do we expect our country to move forward? You know, look at California. California is the highest, I think, is the third most largest GDP in the world. Why? Because of innovation. Innovation is a key. Is a key to growth. Is a key to success. It's a key to taking our world forward. So we really need to learn how to be innovative and learn how to build our nation. And we really need to get past racism of a thing that has been really really holding a lot of people back, that has been really slowing people down. We really need to get past it though. It's something very, very important. Thank you.